So hello student, today I will be discussing about group 18 noble gases, inert gases, also called zero group or aerogens. So group 18 constitute helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Helium is the, you can say, smallest noble gas as we consider the size. Argon is the most abundant noble gas in air. Most abundant noble gas in air. Radon is a radioactive noble gas. Radioactive noble gas. And radon is obtained as a decay product of radium. So if we see radium 88226, when it undergo alpha decay, it form radon 86222 plus helium. This is called alpha decay. So radon is the product of alpha decay of radium. Xenon forms maximum number of compounds. Maximum number of compounds. Only one compound of krypton is known, that is KrF2. Xenon forms maximum number of compound among noble gases because its first ionization enthalpy is very close to that ionization enthalpy of oxygen. The general electronic configuration of group 18 is NH2NP6. They have very stable electronic configuration except helium, which has 1s2. So helium, despite it has the last electron entering, differentiating electron entering in s block, it is kept in group 18 or zero group, or also called aerogens or inert gases. They are all monoatomic gases. Because they don't form molecules. And their total percentage in dry air is approximately 1% by volume. And helium is regarded as the most abundant element in the universe. It is the second most abundant after hydrogen. So hydrogen is the most abundant element, followed by helium, then oxygen, then neon, then nitrogen, then carbon. Carbon is the sixth most abundant element in the universe. So hydrogen is the leader. Approximately 81% is hydrogen only. So these two forms 89%. These two, hydrogen and helium, forms 89% of the universe. So helium is regarded as the second most abundant element in the universe. If we see the configuration of neon is 10. So it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So it has a complete 8 electron in the outermost. So it is very stable. And He2 molecule does not exist. Similarly, Ne2 molecules also does not exist. This can be explained on the basis of molecular orbital theory. So now helium is present in natural gas. It has the maximum ionization enthalpy of any element in the periodic table. So helium has the maximum ionization enthalpy. That means it is very difficult to take out electron from helium. Helium, neon, argon, they are also present in trace amount. They are also present in very little amount in some spring water. Helium, it is also present in minerals of radioactive origin like cleveite, monazite, pitchblende. Pitchblende is also a source of uranium. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, they are chemically unreactive. And their chemical unreactivity is due to completely filled valence cell. And they have very high ionization enthalpy. Barring xenon, few compounds of radon and krypton, they are unable to form compounds. No known compounds of helium, neon, argon are known. Krypton form only once, KrF2, and xenon forms a large number of compounds. And the first of the compound was prepared in the year 1962 by Neil Bartlett, who prepared the first compound XePtF6-, Xe plus PtF6-, because the ionization enthalpy of xenon was equal to that of oxygen, elemental oxygen. So first ionization enthalpy of xenon is very similar to oxygen, which force, because one of the compound that was prepared by Neil Bartlett was O2 plus PtF6, which was red in color. So he tried to prepare that compound with xenon, and ultimately he got a compound XePtF6 minus, which was also red in color. So from then onwards, many compounds of xenon has been synthesized, like XeO3, XeF2, XeF4, XeF6, XeOF2, XeOF4, etc. So these are the few compounds formed by xenon. Xenon compounds are very important for competitive points of view. So the general electronic configuration of noble gases group 18 is NH2 NP6 except helium, which has 1s2 electronic configuration. Their ionization enthalpy is very high. They have very high ionization enthalpy due to stable electronic configuration, and helium has the highest first ionization enthalpy of any substance. Down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases down the group because atomic size increases. As we know, ionization enthalpy is inversely proportional to atomic size. Smaller the size, higher the ionization enthalpy, and vice versa. Electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy is the tendency of an atom to take up electron to form an ion. So they have large positive value of electron gain enthalpy, suggesting that they have no tendency to accept electron. Helium has the lowest boiling point of any known substance. Noble gases are colorless, odorless, and tasteless. They are sparingly soluble in water. That means they are very less soluble in water. They have very low melting point and boiling point, which is attributed to weak dispersion force or London force. Due to this weak dispersion force or London forces, they have very low boiling point and melting point, with helium being the lowest boiling point of any, helium having the lowest boiling point of any known substance. Chemical properties of noble gases. So if we see the chemical properties of noble gases, they are the least reactive, and their least reactivity is attributed to completely filled electronic configuration in their valence shell, which I have already discussed, NH2NP6 except helium. This makes them very less reactive, and they have very high ionization enthalpy. Their ionization enthalpy is very high, suggesting that it is very difficult to form cation. And they have positive electron gain enthalpy, suggesting that it is very difficult to form an ion. So if they are unable to form cation and ion, that means they will not react under ordinary conditions. And in March 1962, it was Neil Bartlett from the University of British Columbia who first observed the reaction of a noble gas. So he found that oxygen and xenon have similar first ionization enthalpy. So he prepared a red compound, O2 PtF6. It was red in color. So he tried to react this PtF6 minus with the xenon, and ultimately he also got a red compound of xenon. Okay, so XePtF6, this was the red compound which was formed when xenon was treated with PtF6 minus. So this was the first compound, and after that a lot of compound of xenon has been prepared, like XeO3, which is pyramidal, XeF2, which is linear, XeF4 is square planar, XeF6, which is octahedral, which I will discuss. So no true compounds of helium, neon and argon are known up till now. Krypton only forms a fewer compounds, but among noble gases, xenon forms a large number of compounds, and that also particularly with oxygen and fluorine, because fluorine and oxygen being the most electronegative element of the periodic table, with fluorine electronegativity is 4 and oxygen is 3.5. They are the most electronegative element, and that's why xenon forms a large number of compounds among noble gases. Few of the compounds of xenon are XeF2, XeF4, XeF6, XeO3, XeOF4. KrF2, krypton difluoride, krypton fluoride, is only studied in detail. So only compound of krypton to be studied in detail is KrF2. Radon fluoride is not isolated, but it is identified by radio tracer technique. So the only compound of radon which has not been isolated but identified is radio tracer technique. One thing more important, student, suppose a compound is radon fluoride. Radon, as we know, it is a radioactive, so this compound will also be radioactive. During compound formation, there is no loss in the radioactivity. The compound also remains radioactive. So if radon is radioactive, radon difluoride also remains radioactive. Now, xenon fluorine compounds. So when xenon reacts with fluorine, when xenon is in excess at 673 Kelvin 1 bar pressure, it forms XeF2, xenon difluoride. When xenon reacts with fluorine in 1:5 ratio at 873 Kelvin and 7 bar pressure, it forms xenon tetrafluoride. And when xenon reacts with fluorine in 1:20 ratio at 573 Kelvin and 60 to 70 atm bar pressure, then it forms xenon hexafluoride. So these xenon fluorides are very good fluorinating agents. Preparation of xenon hexafluoride. So when xenon tetrafluoride react with O2F2 oxygen fluoride, it forms xenon hexafluoride plus oxygen gas. Here O2F2 act as a fluorinating agent. A fluorinating agent is that chemical or that compound which fluorinates the compound, which fluorinates any compound. Like here fluorine is 4 in number, but here fluorine is 6. That means this compound is giving fluorine, so it is fluorinating this compound. That's why it is called a fluorinating agent. XeF2, xenon difluoride, xenon tetrafluoride, xenon hexafluoride, they are colorless crystalline solid. They are colorless crystalline solid. They sublime readily. That means they are sublimate. Sublimates are those substances which converts directly from solid to gas. And they are powerful fluorinating agent. They are powerful fluorinating agent. They are powerful fluorinating agent, and they are hydrolyzed even by traces of water. They are hydrolyzed even by traces of water. So these are the important properties of fluorides of xenon. These are the important properties of fluorides of xenon. They are colorless crystalline solid. They sublime readily at 298 Kelvin, that is 25 degrees Celsius. And they are powerful fluorinating agent. They are powerful fluorinating agent, and they are hydrolyzed easily even in traces of water. If water is present, very less quantity also, they are hydrolyzed. Now xenon oxygen compounds. So hydrolysis of xenon tetrafluoride and xenon hexafluoride gives xenon oxide, that is XeO3. So XeF4 plus water gives xenon oxide, hydrofluoric acid and oxygen. XeF6 plus water give XeO3 plus HF. So hydrolysis of xenon tetrafluoride and xenon hexafluoride gave XeO3 in both the cases. If we take tetrafluoride, then xenon is also formed, HF is also formed, and oxygen is also formed. So hydrolysis of xenon fluorides generally gives xenon oxide, HF and oxygen. In some cases we will find HF and xenon oxide. Now partial hydrolysis of xenon hexafluoride. So partial hydrolysis of xenon hexafluoride give xenon oxyfluoride plus hydrofluoric acid, xenon oxyfluoride plus hydrofluoric acid. So here the oxidation state of xenon is +6, here it is also +6. XeO3, xenon oxide, is a colorless explosive compound. If we see the structure on the basis of Vesper theory, we find that it has a pyramidal structure with 1 lone pair and 3 bond pair. So the structure of this is pyramidal. If we see the structure of XeF2, it has 3 lone pair. The actual structure is trigonal bipyramidal, but when we see the structure, actually the shape is linear because we neglect the lone pair. So how to determine? Suppose XeF2 is there. So xenon has 8 valence electron. It is forming 2 bonds. So it has now 6 electron. So we have to divide by 2 to get 3 lone pair. So it has 3 lone pair and 2 bond pair. We know that 3 lone pair, 2 bond pair, the structure is linear. Similarly, if we check for XeF4, it has 8 valence electron, 8 minus 4 bond, 4 upon 2, that is 2 lone pair. That means it has 2 lone pair plus 4 bond pair. So the status of the molecule is 2 lone pair plus 4 bond. So it has a square planar shape. It has a square planar shape with 2 lone pair. If we see for XeF6, then it has 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. That means 1 lone pair it has. So one lone pair and 6 bond pair. One lone pair and 6 bond pair. So if we see this, the structure will be like this. This is called distorted octahedral. This is called distorted octahedral because due to this lone pair there is a distortion in the structure. So it is called distorted octahedral. Suppose if we want to see the structure of XeOF4, then Xe double bond O, F, 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 F. Xenon has found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It still has one lone pair. So the shape of the molecule is square pyramidal. The shape of the molecule is square pyramidal. So every year in IIT or any entrance exam, questions are being asked from the structure of xenon compound based on the Vesper model. Let's discuss the uses of novel gases. So some of the important uses of novel gas like helium. Helium oxygen mixture is used to treat asthma. Asthma is a respiratory problem. Liquid helium is used for producing low temperature, which is used for gas thermometry and for research purposes. Helium balloon is used for meteorological observation. Previously we were using hydrogen balloon, but as we know, hydrogen is highly inflammable gas, so it is replaced by helium. So nowadays for meteorological operation or meteorological observation, we use helium balloon. Neon is used in photography and in botanical gardens, and argon is used in electrical bulbs. Trypton is used in radiological examination of respiratory organ. Xenon is used as anesthetic. Okay, and radon is used in treating cancer. So these are the uses of novel gases. This was about group 18. I hope you understand, student. Thank you so much.